I think part of the reason the Breitbarts can't get any traction is the Occupy Wall Street supporters are out in force on all the blogs and forums and comment sections of CNN, Fox, Bloomberg, etc., basically telling the trolls they're full of shit. In not so many words, they're way outnumbered. No, this is just a theory, but a big pushback online plus the stuff they've been. No, I think it's I think it's that the only thing that was going to work, because look, it's so decentralized. How do you say that, $5,000? I mean, even their story on Acorn was that it was a new group operating out of Acorn's old space, literally, with people who used to work at Acorn working for this new group. There was no sourced quotes, but even if everything they said was 100% true, it would have amounted to these people going down, identified in their own shirts from the organization. I mean, we've been down there. You see people from Teamsters, from all different organizations down there, organizing, trying to sign people up to support their things. Like, even if all of what they said was true in it, it amounted to the idea that they had raised a couple of $1,000s and given it to Occupy Wall Street, which apparently, according to the organization, is not true. They've been down there organizing on different days at different times, but they went on Huffington Post 3 weeks ago to say that they were going to do this. So it's not like a nefarious plot. They've announced it. So, no, I think it helps, Long Doggy. I don't think it doesn't help. But I think the main reason why it hasn't gotten traction is because the corporate media's first response was like, these guys are smelly and they're crazy. They don't know what they're doing. And it's clear now that they do. And then beyond that, like, who cares if one group is organizing for 4 days of part of Occupy Wall Street? There are Occupies all over across the country. It transcends any story they can come up with. And then the story of the drumming, for instance, that Occupy Wall Street, it was so hard to get the drumming down to 4 hours a day when they supposedly needed to get it down to 2 hours a day. The idea that there's somebody pulling the strings behind Occupy Wall Street when they're in jeopardy of losing, support of the community board because of drummers that they can't control is just absurd. It's just fundamentally absurd. I mean, where's Soros giving these drummers their own record deal so they go off to the Amalfi Coast and record something and, to continue on with his plot to bring in the Muslim Brotherhood and Chairman Mao, right? I mean, if what Breitbart and his cronies say is true, George Soros would have already sent these drummers to their studio to record with Mick Jagger. So that's why there's no traction here, because none of it fits. And the people at Occupy Wall Street, they're not even bothering to address it because they don't give a shit. They're working in a complete different parallel structure that where people like Breitbart, my going on Twitter with Breitbart last night at 3 a.m, making fun of him, is completely irrelevant to it. It's just for my own. I just did it for my own, I was waiting for San Francisco to see if the cops were coming. I was bored. And there's Breitbart going Occupy Wall Street is controlled by aliens that have come from Mount Shasta. Occupy Wall Street is controlled, and I just started to F with him. But none of that has any implications to what's going on down there because we're so far out of relevance to what's happening with Occupy Wall Street that, I think it's wonderful.
I also think it's because it's one of the first issues like this where it transcends the usual lines that they draw. Fox News viewers and Breitbart readers, they're usually, I don't like Obama either. Oh, I don't like Democrats either. But when the lines are the 99% versus the 1%.
That's right.
Their readers, their viewers, they're part of that 99%. How are they, and their viewers and readers realize this too.
And I think, the establishment media, which is always the worst problem with like a Fox or Breitbart is that what they're talking about becomes the conventional wisdom. The establishment media was on an opposite side of the divide of Occupy Wall Street in the beginning. On one side, you had Occupy Wall Street. And on another side, you had the establishment media and the establishment politicians. So they know that Occupy Wall Street is not about a function of supporting the Democrats or a function of the Democrats creating some type of event, because the establishment media was on the same side as the politicians and looking at like, ooh, these crazy people at the beginning. And then they quickly had to sort of face the reality. But so I don't know. Breitbart and his crew is going to be down there, or at least Stranahan's going to be down there this weekend. I may go down there just to fuck with him.